How to handle tantrums without losing your cool. Dear moms, have you ever felt like that you're about to lose it when your child throws a tantrum in the middle of a store or right before bedtime? You try to stay patient, but the whining, the screaming, and the endless no pushes every single button you have. Sounds familiar? Now imagine this instead. Your child is having a meltdown, but instead of reacting with frustration, you stay calm, respond effectively, and actually shorten the tantrum. What if I told you that you can handle a tantrum with confidence without yelling or bribing? Just being simple, science-backed techniques. In this video, I'm going to teach you exactly how to respond to tantrums in the way that calms your child and helps them learn emotional regulation. And stay with me till the end because I'll be sharing the number one mistake most parents make when dealing with tantrums and what to do instead. So let's dive in. Dear moms, let's be real. Tantrums can be exhausting. 1 minute, everything is fine, and the next, your child is on the floor, screaming over wrong color cup or refusing to put their shoes. And no matter how you try, the moment feels impossible. If you have ever felt helpless or embarrassed when your child melts down in public, lost your patience, and later regretted how you handled a tantrum, wondered if you are doing something really wrong because tantrum seems never ending, then this video is for you. By the end of this video, you will have a clear understanding of what actually triggers tantrums. It's not just about small things they're upset about. You will also learn science-backed techniques to diffuse tantrums quickly and calmly. You will discover what not to do so tantrums don't worsen over time. You will gain practical, real-life strategies to help your child develop emotional regulation. You will also feel more confident and in control no matter when and where the next meltdown happens. So my promise is by the end of this video, you'll have a simple, proven framework to handle tantrums without yelling, bribing, or feeling guilty. So you can stay calm and raise an emotionally resilient child. Let me start with my own story. A few years ago, I had one of those parenting moments that I will never forget. It was a busy afternoon at a grocery store. My child was tired, hungry, and overstimulated. A perfect storm for a tantrum. Right as we reached the checkout line, they spotted a chocolate bar and asked for it. I said, No, not today, sweetheart. We have snacks at home. And then it all started. Screaming, crying, stomping, lying on the floor. People were staring at me. My heart was racing. I could feel my frustration rising. I tried reasoning. Look, we already have snacks at home and we don't need more sugar right now. That didn't work. I tried threatening. If you don't stop crying, we are not going to go to the park later. That made it worse. Okay, if you calm down, I'll give you a chocolate bar when we get home. And just like that, I realized I had taught my child that tantrum is equal to what you want. And that day I went home defeated. I knew there had to be a better way. And that was the day that shifted everything. Instead of looking at tantrums as bad behavior, I started researching child psychology. And I learned that tantrums aren't about manipulation. They are about emotional overwhelm. Children don't have the brain development to regulate big emotions on their own. How I respond to tantrums will either teach my child self-regulation or reinforce the behavior. So the next time a meltdown happened, I tried a new approach. I focused on staying calm. Instead of reacting emotionally, I took deep breaths and reminded myself, this is a learning moment, not a battle. I validated their feelings. Instead of saying, stop crying, I said, I see that you're really upset because you wanted a chocolate bar. but it's okay to feel upset. I set a boundary. No, you're not getting the chocolate today, but we can pick up a snack together next time. I redirected their focus. I engaged them in choosing a sticker at the checkout instead. And guess what? Instead of escalating, my child calmed down faster than ever before because I had acknowledged their emotions while holding my boundary. You can handle tantrum without losing your cool too. That moment changed everything for me. No more yelling, no more guilt, no more power struggles. Now, when tantrum happens, I see them as opportunities to teach emotional regulation. I am not saying tantrums have magically disappeared. They are a normal part of childhood, but the way I handle them has completely transformed our home. In this video, I'm going to teach you exactly how to do the same. You'll learn step-by-step strategies to handle tantrum with patience, confidence, and calm so you can handle meltdowns and connect with your child. So let's get started. So why is it necessary as a conscious parent to learn how to handle tantrums? Tantrums can feel like mini emotional explosions, and let's be honest, they often trigger our own frustrations. No one enjoys dealing with screaming child in public, at bedtime, or during any stressful day. But here's the truth. Tantrums aren't just about the child. They are about how we as parents respond to them. If we react with anger, threats, or bribery, we accidentally reinforce negative behavior. If we stay calm, validate emotions, and set clear boundaries, we teach emotional regulation. How we handle tantrums today shapes our children's emotions in their adulthood. That's why mastering tantrums responses isn't just about making life easier. It's about raising emotionally resilient, self-aware kids who know how to handle frustration, disappointment, and big feelings in a healthy way. So if you are a mom raising children between 5 to 18 years old, you would know that tantrums don't disappear magically after toddlerhood. Older kids still have emotional outbursts, just in different ways: defiance, withdrawal, or backtalk. The way you handle tantrums impacts your child's ability to manage emotions as they grow. Repeating cycles of yelling, threats, or frustration leads to more power struggles, not less. Have you ever lost your patience, yelled during a tantrum, and then felt guilty afterwards? Given in just to stop the meltdown, only to have it happen again the next day? Felt like your child's tantrums pushes all your buttons no matter how hard you try to stay calm? If any of these sound familiar, you're not alone. Every parent struggles with this. But the good news is there's a better way to handle tantrums that actually works. Think back to a moment when your child had a meltdown. May it be a full-blown meltdown in a grocery store, bedtime, or screaming match over homework or screen time limits. At that moment, you probably felt frustrated, exhausted, and guilty later because you reacted out of frustration instead of calmness. What if I told you that you could completely change the way tantrums play out? Believe me, this isn't fantasy. It's the result of conscious parenting strategies. You can learn how to handle tantrums in a way that strengthens your bond with your child, reduces power struggles, help your child develop a lifelong emotional intelligence. As a conscious parent, we want to do more than just stopping tantrums. We want to teach our children how to handle their emotions. So what happens when tantrums aren't handled well? Kids grow up struggling with frustration, impulse control, and emotional regulation. They may suppress their emotions or lash out in unhealthy ways. They might repeat these cycles in adulthood, shutting down or exploding when things don't go their way. On the contrary, What happens when tantrums are handled the right way? Kids learn that emotions are normal, but there is a healthy way to express them. They develop self-regulation skills that last into adulthood. Your home becomes more peaceful with fewer power struggles and more understanding. The way you respond to tantrums today will directly impact how your child handles emotions the rest of their life. And that is why in this video I'm going to teach you practical, easy to follow strategies to handle tantrums with confidence so you can raise emotionally healthy, self-aware kids while keeping your own peace of mind. So let's get started. I would highly recommend that you keep a notepad or digital note diary. Also, at the end of this video, there is a special bonus, a calm and confident parenting toolkit. Stay tuned till the end. Plus, I have an exclusive invitation to my masterclass on mastering emotional regulation in kids. You will be able to access it once you are at the end of the video. So stay tuned. Let's start by understanding that what tantrums mean. Tantrums are not just bad behavior. They are child's way of expressing emotions they don't know how to regulate it. When a child has a meltdown, their brain is in the survival mode and they need help learning how to manage big emotions. Let me tell you 6 key things that you should know about tantrums. Number 1. Tantrums are a normal part of child development. Emotional regulation skills develop over time, just like walking or talking. Number 2. Children's brains aren't fully developed yet. The part of the brain responsible for impulse control, the prefrontal cortex, is still growing, making emotional outbursts common. Number 3. Tantrums are not manipulation. Young children don't throw tantrums to control you. They are overwhelmed and they need guidance. Number 4. Your reaction shapes future tantrums. If you respond with yelling, bribing, and giving in, the tantrum behavior gets reinforced. Number 5. Tantrums are learning opportunity. Every meltdown is a chance to teach emotional intelligence and self-regulation skills. Number 6. Handling tantrums well reduces their frequency over time. When you respond calmly and consistently, children learn that big emotions are okay, but they need to be expressed in a healthy way. Now let's understand why it is important to teach emotional regulation. It teaches your child emotional regulation. Children learn how to handle stress by watching how we handle it. Number 2, it prevents reinforcing negative behavior. Yelling, bribing, or giving in can actually increase tantrums instead of reducing. Number 3, handling tantrums strengthens the parent-child bond. Staying calm and validating your child's emotions builds trust and connection. Number 4, handling tantrums calmly reduces power struggles in the long run. When a child feels heard and respected, they are more likely to cooperate. Number 5, it helps you stay in control as a parent. Losing your cool makes situations worse, while calm responses lead to better outcomes. Number 6, it leads to more powerful and a peaceful home and fewer meltdowns. More harmonious the environment, less tantrums you're going to face from your child. Now let's go into the how, the practical proven strategies to handle tantrums in a way that helps your child learn and keep your sanity intact. I'll tell you 6 effective techniques, and each method includes 6 actionable steps. So 6 into 6, you have 36 ways of handling tantrums. Number 1, calm first, respond later method. You can't help your child regulate emotions if you are emotionally triggered yourself. This method focuses on grounding yourself first so you can respond effectively. How can you do that? Take a deep breath before speaking. Calm your nervous system down. Remind yourself this is a teaching moment. Instead of seeing the tantrum as defiance, see it as an opportunity to teach emotional regulation. Lower your voice instead of raising it. Use a mantra, I am calm in the storm. Keep repeating it. Pause before responding. Walk away if necessary. If your emotions are escalating, step into another room for a few deep breaths. For example, if your child is screaming because you won't buy them candy at a store, instead of snapping, stop crying. Take a deep breath and respond. I hear that you are upset because you really wanted that candy. I'm here to help you through this. Technique 2. Name it to tame it method. When kids feel understood, their brains calm down faster. This technique involves naming their emotions to help them process their feelings. So how would you do it? Acknowledge the emotion. I see you're really upset. Help your child feel seen and heard. Describe what happened. You're mad because I said no to candy. It shows understanding. Use simple emotion labels. That must be really frustrating. It helps build emotional vocabulary. Stay close without forcing comfort. Be available. Let them process on their own. Avoid saying you are okay. Offer a safe way to express feeling. Would you like to take deep breaths with me? For example, if your child is sobbing because they lost a game, instead of saying, it's just a game, stop crying, try, I can see you're really disappointed. It's hard to lose, isn't it? Number 3 technique. Hold the boundary, offer choices method. Children need boundaries, but they also crave autonomy. This method helps enforce rules while giving kids a sense of control. So how would you do this? State the boundary calmly. We are not buying the candy today. No need to justify or over-explain. Offer 2 acceptable choices. Would you like an apple or a granola bar instead? Avoid negotiation. The decision is final. Be consistent. Repeat without engaging in debate. I love you and the answer is still no. Be firm. Use yes later instead of no. Follow through with no guilt. Boundaries help children feel safe, not deprived. For instance, if your child throws a fit over screen time ending, instead of saying, fine, 5 more minutes, respond with, screen time is over. Would you like to help me pick up the book or color instead? 4th technique, the co-regulation over consequences method. Instead of punishing tantrums, help your child co-regulate, guiding them through their own emotions. Stay physically present, sit close, don't isolate them. Presence is equal to safety. Offer a calming tool like a stress ball or a breathing exercise. Model deep breathing. Breathe with them. Use gentle touch, maybe on their back or hugs if accepted. Wait for the storm to pass before teaching. Logic will not work. After they calm down, reflect together. Next time, what can we do differently? Encourage learning. For instance, instead of sending your child to time out for crying, stay close and say, let's take deep breaths together. I am here to help you. Tantrums are temporary, but emotional skills last a lifetime. These strategies will help you turn tantrums into teachable moments, strengthen your bond with your child, and create a calmer home. If you like this video, subscribe and like the video. Share it with a friend who would love to know how to handle tantrums with their children. Also, don't forget to download the free Calm Toolkit for your child. If you are ready to go deeper, you can also join through the link below my masterclass to build emotional resilience in children. Here's to raising calm, confident kids. See you in the next video.